Fun fact about Antonio T. Smith Jr. Did you know that he has over 30,000 books in his library? Yes, 30,000 books in his library. He reads 800 pages a day. That's about up to 2 to 3 books a day. Wow. So when you wonder where he gets all of this information from, ladies and gentlemen, 30,000 books. 30,000. How many books do you have in your library? Fun fact about Antonio T. Smith Jr. This episode is brought to you by the Bureau of Dominant Speakers. Are you a speaker, trainer, or coach and looking to get maximum exposure, master your skills, and learn how to create products that generate a residual income? The Bureau of Dominant Speakers is the program for you. Antonio T. Smith Jr. gives you exposure to his network of 2.5 million people, as well as teach you everything he knows that retired him at the age of 29 on speaking alone, how to create products that generate a residual income for you, as well as how to brand and market yourself as a master speaker. For more information, click the second link in the show notes description. Thank you so much for joining us for the Bureau of Dominant Speakers. Tonight, we have a special presentation from the CEO, the man himself, the myth, the legend, the one who's making us all millionaires, Mr. Antonio T. Smith Jr. He is going to teach us how to take a radio or podcast interview and turn it into cash. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you this evening the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Antonio T. Smith Jr.
Hey, everybody, I'm glad. Let me just rapid fire some points or put it out in chat. Thank you very much for the love. I'm going to rapid fire, put some things out in chat, and I want to cover a whole. Yes, I am looking skinny. I am 60 pounds down. That is for sure. And I am still trudging on my way. I have 56 more pounds to go to be at my target weight. And that'll put me at an even 200. Look at God. That'll put me at an even 200. And then once that happens, no shirts whatsoever. Jerome, I ain't wearing no shirts, all spandex. And I'll be at all the pride parades with Law, and we having fun on roller coasters, walking up and down stairs without breathing heavy. We doing a lot of good stuff. As soon as I lose these pounds, I ain't playing at all. But anyway, thank all of you for being here. Let me rapid fire some things off real quick. Go ahead and put this in chat real quick. Everything is entertainment. Have one solid message, one solid agenda. Use the word agenda. Be really easy to contact. Don't be boring. All right, we'll start off with those, but that's just the tip of the iceberg, okay? Let's start off with those real quick. You must remember that when you're on an interview, and that could be podcast, radio, anything, you cannot forget it is entertainment. Maya, you're pretty. You have a pretty face, and you look like you got some good hair on you. You need to be entertaining. You understand? Yeah, there you go. You have to be entertaining. Everything is entertainment. Now, even boring is entertainment, but don't confuse boring with the boring I put in number 4. That college professor that's so smart that he cuts himself off when he teaches, and everyone is like, oh my God, he's so boring, but don't we love him so much? That guy is actually entertaining. He's so boring, he's entertaining because there's something magnetic about him or her. The clear eyes guy is actually so monotone, he's entertaining. You don't have to be E.T. the hip hop preacher, Les Brown. You could be Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen is extremely entertaining. Yes. You don't have to be a comedian to be entertaining or have an entertaining element. You could be Jerry Seinfeld. You can be Mark Wahlberg or any of the sports announcers. They are entertaining. I mean, think about that. When you listen to sports, you listen to sports for the announcers. When you watch sports for the announcers. If you mute your TV, it's just not the same. Those announcers are there. Here's an element that I would love to add inside of the church world. You can have it, and if you could do it first. I've been trying to do it since 2012, but I can't find the right people. I would love to add the sports announcer element inside the church. I would love to do that. I would love to do that for the online visitors, for the people who are watching online. I would love to add the sports announcers. Ladies and gentlemen, can you see it? This pastor just got up. You know, and I've heard about that suit that was designed. You know, did you know that pastor? Did you know that, right? Did you know that pastor went to Kroger's yesterday and he met, right? All that cool stuff. You know, all that stuff. That's what not. Be entertaining. You can't forget that. And you also need to have one solid agenda. These four things I'm listening to you have nothing to do with what I want to talk about. They're preludes or just bonus points to the money that law say we're going to ask questions anyway, right? This is what that is. You cannot forget everything is entertainment. Every time the ladies around here forget it, they hear from me. I promise you. I promise you. As soon as the camera's cut off, what you doing? What that is not, no. We can no, right? Can't do that. Be entertained. Have one solid agenda. I don't mean one solid message. I would prefer you, when you're doing your keynotes, to have one solid message. But this is not what I mean. I don't mean have one message, and if you got to have 3 points, just have 3 points iterating on one message. That's not what I mean here. I mean, with every radio interview, Maya needs to have her own agenda, period, point blank. The radio host has their agenda. You need to have your agenda, and you need to constantly sneak your agenda in if you want to make some money. Okay? Now, your agenda should not be self-serving because, you know, people aren't stupid and they'll immediately single you out. I'm going to give you an example of this here. If you look at I did like 3 radio shows in the last week or so, but only one of them was streamed live. Yeah, but I just did. In fact, we just got. Did they email? Did they send us the clip? Because you said I saw you respond. You ain't put it nowhere. Do y'all know that I just did a radio show with a lady named Amy Cabo called "Love Is Secure"? Yeah, did y'all see the clip? Because if you didn't, you tripping. All right, she gonna send it to y'all anyway. Everything, I would love everything to be live, but some of it's not live because of the way people do it. But you need to have one agenda, Jerome. My agenda for the radio show that I did with the HIV radio in Houston, my agenda was very simple. Ask me tough questions. That was my agenda. My number one agenda was ask me tough questions. That was my agenda. Because I've been on that show maybe 3 or 4 times, probably 4 or 5. At this point, me selling myself is stupid. Do you understand, Jerome? You can't keep going and sell yourself because I know 2 of the people there through business, and both of them invite me to their shows. So now I'm double tapping this show because they're in the same studio, but it's 2 different shows, and I can't keep going. Oh yeah, you know, make it. No, I can't do that. So I had to, in order for them not to oversaturate me, I had my own agenda. Y'all hear what I'm saying? This is extremely important. I'm not going to let a radio host oversaturate me. Even though oversaturation is impossible because of 7.8 billion people on planet Earth, I wasn't about to let them oversaturate me. So what did I do? Hey, you know it. Run me hard questions. Because now I'm on my toes. Now I know it's entertainment. And now I know everybody's like, oh, you better not answer that. And of course, I did. Right? So let's remember that. It's important because, well, we'll come back to that. Be really easy to contact. This is why I have what you would call a fan phone. This is why Maya can reach out and text me and Law and all sorts of stuff like that. Because easy to contact. Because guess what's going to happen? People are going to say at the very end of the show, so Jerome, tell us how we can contact you. And you're going to say some weird stuff no one's ever going to do. You know? If you just go to JEROMEREDD.com, and people are like, what? I didn't have a pen. What? If you look at me on Facebook for Jer, that's Jerome with a J, or that's Jared with a G, you're like, okay, you know what? That was too difficult. If you get Maya, that's Maya with 2 Y's, you know what? It's okay, right? You get what I'm saying? That's right. You want to say something like, hey, so Antonio, how do you get in contact with you? Well, for one, you can just Google me, Antonio T. Smith Jr., and you'll find me anywhere. That's cool. Or, I'll tell you what, I'll make it easier for you, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to access me directly to bypass all the assistance and stuff, 409-500-1546. Just shoot me a text message. 409-500-1546. Text me real quick. I'll text you right back. Go ahead, give it a try. You can text me while I'm on this show. See the difference? Wait, we're talking about money, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Because the reason I'm stressing this is because no contact, no money. Do not leave it in your audience's hands to look you up for later. Because as soon as the show disconnects and they pick up their cell phone, Facebook is going to distract them from your interview. That's what it's designed for. The moment they're going to pick up their phone to look you up. Go to Facebook like you suggested. And their timeline is going to distract them, and they're going to forget that they did it. How many of y'all ever get that phone? Damn, when I pick up my phone, well, I came on Facebook. I don't know why in the hell I come on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook did its job. We all guilty of that, right? We're all guilty of that way too many times. And the fourth, just bonus thing, right? Don't be boring. Monotone is not necessarily boring because it depends on your environment. And a lecture is not necessarily boring. It depends on the environment. If you are with a bunch of scholars talking about quantum physics and you are a PhD in molecular physics and with a doctorate in theoretical mathematics, you probably shouldn't be Jerry Seinfeld with your delivery. It will work. That you can pull it off. But you have to understand that when you talk to your peers, that's always the hardest crowd to talk to. When you talk to a bunch of you, that's always the hardest crowd because they're always judging. They have no intention of buying from you. They have no intention of buying from you. When a speaker go talk to a bunch of speakers about speaking, that's one of the hardest crowds to talk to. I promise you. If you ain't did it, allow me that colloquialism, do it. You'll see. You will see, okay? You will see when the speaker go talks to a bunch of speakers about speaking or about motivation, that is one of the hardest things to do. One of the hardest things to do because they have no intentions on buying from you. That's why when you dominate, all of them go buy from you, which I'll teach you how to get that done here in a second. So all of those are bonuses. Everybody okay with those bonuses? Mm-hmm. Let me pause real quick. Any questions about those 4 bonuses before I get to my agenda? Maya has a question. Go ahead.
Okay, so you said to always have an agenda when you're having. Now, is this when doing an interview or is this when giving an interview? So just wanted to kind of clarify.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's good. Both. When if you're conducting an interview and someone else is the star of that interview, then you should have an agenda for your audience to get whatever you want to get. In my case, if I bring you on the Secret to Success podcast, I really want you to give my audience some crap that you sell. That's what I want you to give my audience. If you come on my podcast, that whole, give them the sizzle, not the steak, not over here. You get rid of that crap. Man, we don't do that. We want that crap you sell, we want that. Okay? We want all that. So we came here for the Secret to Success. Every episode, somebody should go, you know what, this for a podcast, I am ready right now. I want people cutting off my podcast because they ready. They done heard something. I'm ready right now. Just go ahead and talk for 27 minutes. Come on, man, I'm ready, right? I want that. So I'll always have that agenda. Give me what you're selling for free. That's my agenda because that's my audience, right? That's my audience. And I have my own agenda because I'm never going to bring in somebody that's going to offend my audience with their BS. If I'm the interviewee, actually, let me back up. If I'm the interviewer, I'm going to let Maya talk. I can't stand an interviewer that makes the show about themselves. Why in the hell am I here? That makes no sense. Well, I do this. I do this so often, and you can always tell these shows. As a matter of fact, we just did a show with Tammy Tubu. You need to find out when she's releasing her episode. Tammy something. Find out her stuff. Yeah, we did like 3 interviews over the weekend, and I don't even remember how they come in so fast because Deanna's really good at booking me interviews. But nevertheless, when you're an interviewer, don't be the star attraction. Your interview, needs to be star attraction and their content. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, I guess. Okay, I just uploaded one,
Good.
and it was
Podcast?
a little slow, kind of going in, like trying to like
Okay.
get her to kind of open up and different things like that. But it was just more so like it was okay. Please, you guys don't take any offense. She was an older lady, and she was talking about her 4th book, and it was more so like everything is evil. No, and it's like God is this and God, and he says that, nothing is right. And I just kind of like it lost me, and I was just like, okay, so what I'm gonna say is let's go
That's a
for the
great voice.
you were so positive. I tried to change the like, just try to change, like get her a little more like uppity on something else, and kind of like veer her away from the negative.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah,
kind of
no
like,
doubt.
yeah, no,
You're
I
probably
understand.
not going to make any money from that interview, that's for sure. And secondly, that'll be your vetting process of the people you bring on. There is
Right.
most certainly a vetting process here. And thirdly, the reason I started off with these 4 things, so I didn't have that dead space. I literally started off with
Do you remember when you started a small business? It was no small feat. It took a lot of late nights, early mornings, and the occasional all nighter. Bottom line, you've been insanely busy ever since. So why not make things a little easier? Well, our friends at FreshBooks have the solution. FreshBooks invoicing and accounting software is designed specifically for small business owners. It's simple, intuitive, and keeps you way more organized than a dusty shoebox filled with crumpled receipts. Create and send professional looking invoices in 30 seconds and then get them paid 2 times faster with automated online payments. File expenses even quicker and keep them perfectly organized for tax time. And the best part? FreshBook grows alongside your business, so you'll always have the tools you need when you need them without ever having to learn the ins and outs of accounting. Join the 24 million people who've used FreshBooks. Try it free for 30 days, no catch, and no credit card required. Go to freshbooks.com/B2B and enter B2B to A to Z in the How Did You Hear About Us section to get started.
4 dive. Here's what I did. I got my whole presentation in my head. And then I stopped and I said, all right, now how can I kill that presentation? If I was me, putting me out of business, what would Antonio say to show up Antonio? And I came up with those 4 things. You get it? So I don't have that dead space. That's why we're starting off so fast paced. But if you think you got value, I ain't even got started yet. This is just the stuff I'm starting off with, so I don't have the problem she just had. You understand what I'm saying? Does that help you, Mike? You feel what I'm saying? So I don't have that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Would you 50 times and so another filler, and so give me some more fillers. And you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. She's filler from the hood. Okay, all that. No. We killed all that. We killed all that. I put myself out of business with this interview by adding 4 things that I wouldn't have added in the first place. Now, am I smart? No. Where do you get this from? Repetition. I have bombed quite a few interviews, and I've had quite a few not go my way, and I refuse to let that crap happen again. It's been years. since I've had that happen. Years. It's for sure it's been 6 or 7 years, but I've been doing this quite some time. I used to take the humble approach. Now I don't. Now I take the entertainment, this show is mine approach. You should probably do that. And when I'm on the show, it's mine. All this is mine. All the sound engineer is buying my products. All this belongs to me for 45 minutes. That's my attitude. It's not my demeanor, but it most certainly is my content value. Now I'm segueing into what I want to talk about. Okay? My content says, run me your customers' money. You understand? I've got billionaires. Did you text what's her name and ask him if we still smoke a cigar small?
Yes, I did.
And what did he say? Shame on him if he said no. Do you need to do some push-ups? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Sorry about that. I sidetracked. I was supposed to anyway. Now, let's just do this here. Here's the number one thing I want to tell you. All of that was freebies. Number one, if you're from Les Brown, he has this genius thing that says, tell your 3-minute story. No, I don't want you to put that. I did not want you to tell your 3-minute story. I do not want you to tell your 3-minute story. It is fantastic. All of you need to learn to tell your 3-minute story between Phil, Susan, and I. We will be teaching you that. I've got a great, Les Brown had me teaching his people how to do the 3-minute story, so I've got that down. I never heard of it until I got with Les Brown, just to give full credit where credit is due. Straight up, Les Brown is a master at that. There's no way that I ever heard of that before. Phil and Susan probably have. They've been doing this longer than me, but I never heard it before. Is that fair? Is everyone hearing me say that Les Brown, as far as I'm concerned, is the adventure of telling you a 3-minute story? Everybody here? Because I'm about to chop all that off. Okay, I'm giving him his props because I'm about to chop that off. Okay, I'm just letting you know. You need to tell your 3-minute story in 1 minute. That's harder. I mastered it. If you think condensing your life into 3 minutes is difficult, if you want to make money on a radio interview, you better condense it into 1. Because they got commercials. And you can't take 3 minutes telling your story. And the first commercial is happening at minute 10, but the intro happened for a minute. So now that's 4 minutes gone. Then the host had to talk first for 2 minutes, introducing her announcement or his announcement to his audience. So now we're at 3, 4, 6 minutes, and then they're going to segue for 1 minute telling your story. So by the time you're telling your story, and I swear to God this happens, your host is going to be looking at the sound engineer or somebody knowing that you taking too long and they got to cut you off to do their commercial, pay the bill. That's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. And if you're on the podcast, you don't have that problem. It still takes a long time in the beginning for the host to be sitting there when they're ready with all their preliminary questions. They don't have 6 questions, but they certainly got the first 2 together. I'm telling you from experience, your 3-minute story will not work on radio shows. It's fantastic everywhere else. TV, commercials. And I'm telling you, what did I do? I spent all this time saying, I never heard of a 3-minute story. Right, Maya? Right? I said, never heard of 3-minute stories. Les Brown said it. Right? Right, Jerome? I said that. Right? I said, I'm telling you, it's the greatest thing I ever heard. As far as I'm concerned, he's the originator of it. But I did let all you know I'm about to chop the neck off of that because it don't work on radio. They got bills to pay. Let's recap. If you try to make money, what you cannot do is be boring. And what you cannot do is talk about your background for 3 minutes of the show when you got 45 minutes and 10 of those minutes is paying commercials. You understand? If you got 45 minutes and 10 of those minutes is commercial breaks, that leaves you 35 minutes left. If you talk about your story for 3 minutes, that leaves you 32 minutes left. If the host is going to talk for 13 minutes, that leaves you 12 minutes left, right? Am I right? 22 left. 19 left. Now you got 19 minutes left. But now you got to answer the questions they want you to answer. Now you can't push your message. Am I making some sense? You can't push your agenda with 19 minutes. I can't get some of y'all to tell a story in 19 minutes. And you trying to make money in 19 minutes. You understand what I'm saying? Come on now. I can't get you to do a 19-minute keynote. You do a 19-minute, try to do yourself, make some money in 19 minutes. That ain't going to happen, all right? The chances are slim. You need to tell your 3-minute story in 1 minute. Yes, go ahead, Grace. Actually, in fact, y'all can break in at any time and ask me questions. Go ahead. No, you muted. Yes, you got your phone.
What was your process? Because I know getting your 3-minute story, because you got a story, man, from age 6 to where you were when you started it. You did a 3-minute story. So how did you condense all of that to 1 minute? How long did it take you to really, get that down? 1 minute.
It took me all these years after working with Les Brown to get this down. So what's that, 4 years? That's what it took me. It took me 4 years. Would you like me to teach it to you in 4 minutes? Y'all say, who want money, God dog? Would you like me to teach you how to tell a 1-minute story in 4 minutes? All of y'all should write this down, okay? It might be better if you just do it. All right. I'll teach it and I'll just do it. Lord know how to pull it out, don't he? He probably sitting there right now eating vegan macaroni and some t-shirt or something, right? All right. With wine. You understand. With wine. All right. I'll teach it to you first. I'm gonna teach you the 3-minute story, teach you the 1-minute story, and then teach out to you less than 4 minutes. 3-minute story. What you want to do is you want to start off with a story to catch attention. Start off with a story. Then you want to take that story, you want to pivot to you in that story, okay? I'll break that down. From that pivot, you want to go back to another story. And then from that pivot, you want to end on a crescendo pivot, like a going up about the story you just told. Don't worry, I'll make it make sense. I got you. You want to start off with a story that makes some sense. Then you want to pivot about you in reference to the story you just told. Everybody get it? Mm-hmm. Then you want to pivot from that story. So the story pivot back to a story, and then you end on you going up, like up to Jerusalem. If you're in church, that's your shout cue. Is there anybody who can testify that I'm Maya and I've been? Oh, you understand, right? Yeah. You got to get up there. I'm Maya and I refuse to be down and out. Right? You understand, right? So you got to go up there. You got to go up, Jerome. You got to go up. You don't leave your story going down, but let's say you do want to go down because you have a terrible story. Then you want to switch the order, okay? You want to switch the order. If you want to go down in feelings, if you want to leave people with that, if you want to leave them there, instead of, oh my God, that was amazing, right? If you want to leave them with the, oh my God, that was amazing, do what I just said. If you want to leave them with the, I can't believe she went through it. I needed this buy from her. I feel so bad for her. I need to buy it, right? If you want to leave them with that, switch it. Pivot about you first. Then you're going to pivot to a story. Then you're going to talk about you again, and you're going to end on a story. I'll give you both examples, and I'll make both of those. About you first, then story, and then about you again, then end with a story. If you're going to leave them ready to run through a wall, you end with you. If you want to leave them emotionally thick, leave them with a story. What's my logic there? First off, I want the last thing you remember is me. So if I'm going to get you what they call 1990s crunk, okay? What's that? Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? If I want to leave you like that, I'm going to leave you with me. Because I'm not making it about me. I'm making it about the energy of me. Y'all got it? But if I want you to feel bad for me, I can't use me to feel bad for me, because then you ain't going to like me. I'm not an expert. I'm a victim. Nah, come on. You just go on stage and watch these people. I had my life, it was so bad. You know, and Tyler Perry didn't take me to be an actress on this show, right? You know what I'm saying? Look, you know what I'm saying? If you want me to feel bad for you, do you understand? Then what you need to do is you need to make someone else make me feel bad for you. Do you understand? Don't make me feel bad for you. Make someone else make me feel bad for you. Now you're not a victim. If you're in a wheelchair, don't make me feel bad you're in a wheelchair. Make an illustration about someone in a wheelchair. Make me feel bad about you in a wheelchair. Is that making sense? I swear I'm saying something. Because you want to be able to captivate your audience while not looking like a victim or a salesperson. Am I talking now? Because I ain't even done. I'm at like 15%, Jerome. I give you some examples. I'm trying to figure out, for the sake of time, I want to do 3 minutes. I don't want to do 3 minutes stuff because that's 6 minutes. That's going to give me 6 minutes. All right, I'll come back to those, okay? I'm going to come back to those. Let me give you some more value first before I take 6 minutes to give you that. Let's do a 1 minute story, okay? Let's do a 1 minute story. Deanna asked me who I am and all that. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's set this up. And the reason I told you a 1 minute story, because let me tell you what's going to happen, y'all, before every podcast, before every radio show, before every TV show, it's the same damn question. So tell us more about you. You just read my bio, god dog it. Right? So you know what? Oh my God, Jerome, you're so amazing. I tell you what, you don't let me tell me about you. Why don't you tell my audience something about you? And listen, ladies and gentlemen, get closer. Do not tell them about you. Tell them about your story in 1 minute and your agenda. You ain't making no money. Your agenda is. Oh, Jerome, you got it. You got it, Jerome. Okay, I don't know if y'all saw that. You ain't making no nobody. Ain't nobody buying from you. Nobody coming to see you. Oh, this. They're buying your agenda, your story. You have to remember all this. I get it. I know it's a lot to remember, but that's the difference between a professional and a non-professional. Okay? In the words of Phil Sorrentino, public speakers speak, professional speakers get paid. Amen. That's well enough to take a collection offering over that. Public speakers speak, professional speakers get paid. Humor consultants. By the way, if you want some coaching, do not come to me. Please go to Deanna. She will set you up with a humor consultant, and we will set something up for you to get you coached along your merry way. Anyway, all right. Give you a 1 minute story. Ask me, do we understand why we're doing a 1 minute story? Because everybody's going to say, Maya, why don't you tell us a little bit about you? No, do not tell them a little bit about you, Maya. That's boring as hell. Okay, boring AF. Do not do it. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to tell them your 3-minute story truncated in 1 minute, and it's going to have an agenda pressed in it. Watch. Go ahead, Deanna.
Hello, Antonio. Thank you so much for joining us on the Bureau of Dominant Speakers. So why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
I'm so glad to be here. Here's the funny thing. In 1981, I was born. By 1986, I was homeless. And by 1987, I was living in the trash can completely by myself. And the crazy thing is I was depressed, hungry, molested, raped in that trash can. But the cool thing is I got outside that trash can. I was looking up, saw this cool little blinking star. I had no idea it was a plane. And I remember thinking, if I could just get on that plane, I can get out of my trash can. You know what's cool about that today? That's exactly what I do. I am on planes 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, teaching people how to get out of their trash cans. And along with this book by Spencer Johnson named Peaks and Valleys. Here's the crazy thing. There was this valley kid, valley people, valley girlfriend, valley everything. And the valley people told him he couldn't get to the mountaintop. But you know what that kid said? I'm going to go to the mountaintop with no mountain experience and no mountain friends. He got to the mountaintop. And today I teach people that whether you're in a trash can or with valley friends, you can get to the mountaintop. In the same manner that Martin Luther King said, I've been to the mountaintop, I take people to the mountaintop. I'm Antonio T. Smith Jr. You can plant better. You can dominate. Did that in a minute. Clinton, give me a thumbs up. Appreciate you, brother. Right?
I want the mountaintop.
Right? You get it? 1 minute. Now, of course, I could stretch that out, but I don't need to. You feel me? Go ahead, Clinton. You want to say something? Oh, you gotta mute yourself. See if you can unmute it real quick. I appreciate you too. There you go, brother. We can hear you.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
You can hear me loud and clear. Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%. When they say tell about you, don't tell them every doggone thing about you. Let them know what's going on. Okay, like I and I tell youth that I mentor or that we have a summer youth employment program here in Pittsburgh, and one of the things that I told them, I didn't tell them everything about me at first, but I did tell them that guess what? There was I got my master's degree and I got my bachelor's, but before then I had a 0.3 in college.
Look at you.
People say, I want to be like you. Are you willing to pay the price to be where I am? Because let me tell you something. If you ain't ready to pay the price and go through pain and experience failure, then guess what? You don't even need to try to do anything except stay right where you are.
All right.
I tell you. I tell you, I kid you not. You know what I mean? People look at me and say, oh, wow, you got a master. You're doggone right, I got it. But it's how I had to get it. You know what I mean? Dude, listen, I remember my first year in college when I was failing, right? And I had that 0.3. I had two favorite classes. One was astronomy. I'll tell you why it was astronomy. Because when the professor started turning out the lights, talking out stars, so my lights were gone too, man. That was Nat 101. Second favorite class was lunch. My second favorite class was lunch, brother. It was lunch. I couldn't wait to go to lunch and eat, man. Those were my two favorite classes. And you know what? Let me tell you something. I never knew the importance of failure because you know what? When I realized that I was failing, I thought I wasn't nothing. I ain't going to be nothing. What am I going to be out here in this world today? Well, guess what? Failure, every successful person that you know of, everybody from Steve Harvey, everybody from Martin Lawrence, everybody from Kevin Hart, guess what? Every single one of them failed and they got a story. And, we all got to understand that, let me tell you something, God is so great. God is so good. He ain't going to put you through no more than what you can bear. But as long as you place him first, whatever hell and storm you going through, he going to put you through it. You may go through a hurricane. You may go through hell. But guess what? There is a sunshine. You know what I
Watch
mean?
yourself, Clint. Watch yourself over there. You gonna tear that car up over there, man. Watch yourself.
Oh no, it's in part. It's in, you know, it's in part. You know, I'm about done for the night and everything else. But you know what though? You know, my whole thing of it is to be a light out here in this world. You know what I mean? To touch as many lives, as I can, to let people out here know that they are precious.
Good stuff.
And they need to know that.
Stuff. Yeah, man. You ain't lying. Good stuff, man. Proud of you, brother. I sure appreciate you and your feedback. Brother got his car in park by the run around that whole car. Shout. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Congratulations on your master's degree, brother. Congratulations.
Oh,
man.
Thank you so much. I graduated in 2016, and I tell you, man, I did my internship with the Pittsburgh Penguins. I was one of the only blacks in the front office, so you know I felt good.
That's about right. I mean, Pittsburgh Penguins, they ain't got that many black people over there.
No, not in that organization.
No.
But you know what? I tell you what, it takes persistence and hunger to get anything you want in life.
Tell the people who don't know what the Pittsburgh Penguins are. Tell them what they're.
Well,
tell them what it is.
I'm gonna tell everybody that did anybody watch hockey, raise your hand. Anybody understand hockey? Raise your hand. Y'all know hockey? Okay, I don't see anybody raising their hand. Well, I see one person. I see James. Yeah, I see. Is that Jerome? I see Jerome putting his thumbs up.
Jerome and Maya.
That he knows hockey. The Pittsburgh Penguins is an NHL hockey team here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and we got a couple of stars named Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. Very popular. Check out, if you got cable, watch ESPN. You'll see them on there. We won 5 Stanley Cups in the history of our organization. When I was there, we didn't win, but 2 days before my graduation, we won the Stanley Cup. And it was a celebration here for me in Pittsburgh and a celebration at my graduation. So
good stuff, man. Good stuff.
So you know, if y'all don't follow, if y'all don't know don't understand hockey or know what it, just turn it on and look at it and say, hey, you know, this brother was talking about that he, you know, interned for him and everything else, you know. So it's a fun sport.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much. Good guy, Clinton. Yeah, it's hockey. That's why I said, yeah, that ain't the Steelers.
Antonio?
You know, hey, go ahead, Phil.
I define hockey as ballet with weapons on ice.
Yes, there's a lot of truth to that. Wow, ballet with weapons on ice and body slam. Yes, that's good. That's fantastic. Good stuff. Let me show you how to make you feel bad for me now in 1 minute. Okay, Deanna, go.
Hello, Antonio, and thank you for joining us for the Bureau of Dominant Speakers. So let's tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
You know, I've had a very rough life, but it's been awesome because what it's done is it's taught me how to allow my circumstances to put others on my shoulders and push them forward. Which, you know, it reminds me of this story, true story, in Pennsylvania, actually. A Pennsylvania Penguin's mother had her 2 sons, and her 2 sons, they were great. They loved to play, loved to do all sorts of stuff, but they didn't come home tonight. The police came, couldn't find them, and they went out there. Went out to some sand dunes and found out that the police saw the young kid, and they're looking for the older brother. They relieve the sand from the young kid. He starts breathing. And this young kid says to the police officers, thank you for saving me. And they ask him, where's your older brother? And he says, I'm standing on his shoulders. See, the older brother gave his life so his younger brother can live. That's how I see me. Someone willing to give my life so anyone else can live. That's my story. See the difference? Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole move. Okay. So you get the point. I can go to take you here, or I can, damn, okay, all right, well, let's take us to meet the Lord there. I ain't nothing. I would be right. You understand? All right, good stuff, good stuff. So we got that 1 minute story. And, oh, go ahead. Who's that? Got the mic. Oh, go ahead, Cameron. Go ahead.
No, I was just moved, touched, and inspired, and I can definitely hear the difference in the two stories. And just, I'll let you maybe expand on how you structured those stories, maybe in a little more detail.
Yeah, sure. So the structure came earlier when I was saying, so let's go backwards. I'm teaching you how to do your 3-minute story in 1 minute. The best way to do this is don't try to tell your story. You're going to have a format. If you want to take people up, you're going to start off with a story. Then you're going to pivot to yourself. And then you're going to go with a story. And then you're going to go to yourself out of there, right?
Okay, yep.
Yeah, and when you saw me do that in the first story, I started with a story. It's just kind of bad the way I grew up. I'm telling the story. It's just crazy. And about this time, I'm homeless, and I'm this, and I'm that, and the transition came in, but I got out that trash can. Pivot to me. And I was looking at this little star in the sky. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking to myself, now that's all about me. I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to fly on planes. So, and then I'll show you what my pivot was. And I said, if I could just get on those planes as my pivot, then I will fly the world, changing lives. And it reminds me of this story. I'm telling you what I'm doing. It reminds me of the story about Spencer Johnson, Peaks and Valleys, and I go through that whole thing. And just like that mountaintop, that's what I'm going to do. About me again, right? About me. I'm going to inspire the world on out of here. Boom. You get the point? All right. In reverse now. He's going to do the exact opposite. If I told the story first, I'm going to talk about me first. I've had a terrible life, but it's okay. I'm not trying to be a victim. What I decided to do was I decided to do some stuff. Now, what I did, because that story was so deep, I eliminated pivot to and story to, and I stayed with the story. You get it? Because that story is powerful, and it takes a little while to build, and I'm still trying to be under 1 minute. But by the time I was done, you swore up and down I was talking about me, but I didn't either time. I just turned it to me to make you think I actually answered your question. What I'm doing is pushing my agenda. And what was my agenda in story 2? Put people on your shoulders. What was my agenda in story 1? I take people to the mountaintop.
Is there a way we can get that like in a written form, like a template or a format?
Sure. Copy and paste it to him right now, and then I'll make sure it's written up, and all of you would get a text message to you.
Thank you.
You get a text message and email. We'll do all of it. You'll get it in the next.
Perfect. Thank you.
Tonight. Yeah. Oh no, ain't a problem, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, you get it tonight. So copy and paste that, and then we'll go from there. Good. All right. So let's get to some more money. Thank you, Cam. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Get to some more money. So now you see me controlling my agenda here, yes? Controlling my agenda, making it all work. Law says, yeah. Controlling my agenda, making it all work. Now that I've gotten past that first minute, I'm home free. Why? Because the way I set the tone is the way the audience is going to receive me. Get it? Now what I have to do, the second most important thing I got to do is every question or every other question you get to choose, you have to introduce one new fact that the audience didn't know. That's the hard part. That's where if you thought any of this is hard, this is where it's hard now. I must, with every question or every other question, and I even give you another or every commercial break, I need to reveal one new fact the audience didn't know. If there are no commercial breaks, I would say every 5 minutes. Actually, I would say every 3 minutes. I wouldn't go over 5. I wouldn't go over 5. Even if you're not talking, I wouldn't let 3 minutes go by without introducing a new fact. Why? Well, let me break down. Forget why for a second. Is everyone following what I'm saying? Let me make sure that's the case. Now that you follow what I'm saying, the reason why is because I need to show I don't vibrate at your frequency. Remember, the goal is to make money. And who on planet Earth is spending money with people who can't teach you nothing? Help me, somebody. You know what? You are absolutely average, buddy. I literally couldn't stand a damn thing you said. Will you please take my credit card number and charge it for $1,000? Because you were average, and I'm never going to read your product whatsoever. No, that is not what we're saying. Right? We're not saying that. We're saying, you know what? I dog it, boy. You from Galveston? As in Texas? Why they keep you? Come here, son. Come here. What you selling? Because I want it. Come on now. You understand? You get it? From Galveston. I ain't never even heard that. Yeah. Anything good come from Galveston? What is going on here? But you don't want to vibrate at their frequency. Remember, I'm coming to your show to dominate. Period. I'm not coming to be humble. I'm coming to dominate. Now, I can dominate from a humble perspective, but I'm still going to be dominant. You understand? Neil Tyson DeGrassi isn't coming with my charisma, but he most certainly has his own charisma, and it's a humble charisma. You get it? And you're not going to listen to him and be like, wow, that's a really dumb dude. No, you're not going to do that at all. You'll be like, that guy is really, how the hell did he make astronomy fun? And he make no sense. I think I understand what he said. Right? That's just the reason why he's famous, not because he's smart, because he makes complex things really simple. He does that very well. Okay? He does that very well. Everybody follow me so far? Let's recap. And that's the next point. I actually gave you the next point. Recap. Every chance you get, recap. Yep. Every chance you get, recap. It does 2 things. It makes people say, oh, he's not just running off at the mouth. He had something to say. She had something to say, and she planned for this interview. She must do this all the time. You get it? Remember, I don't want to buy from somebody who just got lucky. I'm not looking for no lottery winner to mentor me. I'm not even looking for somebody privileged to mentor me, unless I'm trying to use you for connections, and then you can mentor me all you want to. Can you introduce me to Trump? Right? Can you introduce me to Obama? You privileged. You eat breakfast with them. Can I get in? Right? Then I'm not really looking for you to mentor me. I'm looking to use you for your connections, right? You understand what I'm saying? That's the big difference. I want a mentor that was broke. Brokety broke. Because you know some stuff. And I need all that. I need all that. I need all that stuff because you got some skills. And essentially, you want someone who's too smart to be broke. Now, recap. You want to recap, but you don't want to make your recaps. You don't want your recaps like mine. I have no polite way to say this. You don't want your recaps to be like I'm saying my, okay, Jerome, I'm saying my pastor in my 20s. He would recap for an hour, work his way up. All right, y'all, last Sunday we talked about, and then he would literally recap his whole sermon. He would re-preach the whole sermon he preached for a whole hour. And then he would get himself, don't do that, okay? You don't have that much time. and I was here last Sunday. I got notes. Okay? I got, you know what I'm saying? I was here last Sunday. It's all good. This, your recap should, let me teach you how to recap. I wasn't going to, but let me teach you how to recap, okay? You're only thinking about your note takers. That's it. You're only thinking about your note takers and the hidden agenda, and you're only thinking about the media people who are going to create the graphics and the notes for you. If you're on someone else's show, they probably have a media team that's going to create stuff on the host's behalf, and you're making it easier for them. That's all. That's all. There's no other reason. Now, in your recap, I haven't taught you how to recap. You're just going to hit your highlights, but you're not going to try to recap everything. You're going to that's why you're going to keep recapping. So you're going to say, all right, here's what we got. We talked about your story in 1 minute, and then we talked about before that we talked about not being boring, your story in 1 minute, and then how to do your story, either up or down. We laid that out for you. And in the laying of that out for you, now the next thing we're going to do is teach you how to do this wherever I'm at right now, right? You get what I'm saying? That's it. That's it. It's just for show. But what it allows you to do, and everybody write this down, it allows your audience to stop being confused and walk with you through the rest of the interview, or stop daydreaming and walk with you through the rest of the interview. That's why you recap. If they've been with you the whole time, the recap isn't offensive. You understand? If they've been with you the whole time, the recap is not offensive. Everybody follow me? Because you're with me the whole time. So I'm enjoying the recap. Thank you for reiterating. But somebody's done daydream. How many of y'all done check your timeline? Right now. Right? I'm catching you back up. I'm getting you back. I'm getting you back. You understand? I'm getting you back. Especially you with your cameras off. You done put the kids to sleep. Somebody to put the kids to sleep. I'm getting you back. Come on back. Come walk with me to where I want you to go, because I have an agenda. Which leads me to the next thing to make this money. You need to be like Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, or repetition. Okay, you get repetition is the word, but that's actually going to be another point that I want to bring up, but this repetition is the word you need to know. You need to use repetition. Your agenda needs to be repeated frequently. And that is exactly why I think people should have a mountaintop spirit. Where's that coming from? My first story. And that is exactly why I think this world needs to have some humility and let people stand on their shoulders. Good idea? That's a good point. And they're going to say something. I mean, you're right. You know what? You get it. You absolutely get it, Teresa. It is that important. We should have a stand on your shoulders mentality. And you go from there. You're absolutely right, Barbara. We should absolutely be thinking mountaintops, because we've been trained that poverty is holy. Get it? And every 3 minutes, introduce a new fact. Now I introduce a new fact. All right, so let's recap real quick, Maya. What we want to do is, I want you to take the two things I just said before the new fact, and remember this new fact, and that's why we have a mountaintop mentality. See it? I'm repeating. Why am I repeating? I'll tell you why I'm repeating. Because I want people to leave the episode going, you know what? I got a mountaintop personality. I want to repeat my agenda so much that they name the show after my agenda. Because we don't know what the show is going to be named. We looking for you to say something good. Don't tell Barbara she's right. She is right. You know she's right. Do you get it? I'm looking for my agenda to be repeated so it can become the one thing that you take home with you. So next time you see me, I'm going to mountaintops, man. Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, right. Hey, you stand on my shoulders. Stand on my shoulders. Or let's make this money. So these are the three themes that I brought in this teaching. A hypothetical thing of mountaintops, hypothetical theme, stand on your shoulders, and let's get this money, y'all. This is how you do it. Okay? That's actually the real theme for this one. You want to make money, right? All right, let's talk about money. You get it? So you ain't going, well, that boy brought the money. Okay. All right, one more, then I open it up so Law can ask questions. I know he's burning up. When you put your agenda out there, when you get upon thine repetition, then and then when you introduce information that's not been seen before, what am I doing? That's a recap. So everybody start walking with me. All right, I'm ready. Give me the next one, player. Give me the next one, right? Give me the next one. That's good. I see what you're doing, right? Okay. When you do all of these things, what you want to do next, which one? I had like 6 more, but I ran out of time. What you want to do next is talk to your host audience, hostesses audience. Remember, you want to make money. And if you're just talking to the host, the audience is not involved in the episode. Right? So that's true. That's true. I can't wait to ask the question. So you want to say things like, that's a fantastic question. And when you talk to your host's audience, you actually make the host feel good too. Because you say things like, your audience is clearly a sharp audience. Now, what did I just do? First off, I just admitted that mine has an audience. And she's going, you got doggone right. I sure do. I ain't just out here podcasting nobody. I got an audience. You understand, right? I got an audience. I sure do. Y'all hear that, ladies and gentlemen? I'm big. Shoot. Hit that 5-star button. You get what I'm saying? Hit that 5-star button. And then, you do that. Make sure your audience. Let me give you one bonus. Let me give you 2 bonuses. 2 bonuses, okay? Talk to the audience. Then what you want to do is you want to give something away for free towards the end, because they're going to ask you, are there any final words that you want to say, Jerome? You know what? I absolutely do. I want you to go to my website, such and such, and use the coupon code Sexy Red for Jerome Red, okay? I want you to use that coupon code. I don't know where that came from. Use that coupon code, and it will get you 100% free. If the price is overwritten, you put in that. Why am I doing that? Because I want money. And if you got to put in your name, number, and email, and you go ahead and get in there, guess what I'm going to do? Ring, ring, ring. Hey, Jerome. Hey, Maya, how's it going? Man, I'm so glad. No, I'm glad you watched it. Yeah. You looked at it? No, I'm so good. Can I give you something else? Yeah. Well, for $999, you can. You get it? You get what I'm saying? All right. I want your name, number, and your email, because I want to take their audience and put you in my system. All right, let's open up for Q&A. I got another bonus in there, but I'll see if it come up. Any preguntas? Any questions? I'm sorry, I should let you do that. You're the host. Host us away.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, do we have any questions? Raise your hand, put it in chat, or you can just click the little blue button on the manage participant screen. A little blue hand will come up, and we will. So Tempest asks, yes, why are you so loud?
Because I be trying to give people the doggone answers that they need. Because everybody, let me tell you why I act the way I act. Let me tell you why I act the way I act. It's 2 reasons. Well, it's a bunch of reasons why I act the way I act. For one, ain't no sense in being boring, right? And ain't nobody gonna sit up here and remember me if I'm all passive. It's the truth. No one remembers a passive person. You got a lot of people that are powerful while poised. I ain't the one. I'm not the one. I watched an interview with Les Brown the other day. Give me that water bottle. Les Brown murdered everything moving. It's just one of those things where, who does that? Who has that talent? I ain't got that talent. Neil down a wash. No, I'm with you right now, but I am slaying the whole audience. I can't do that, Maya. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that. I ain't got that skill. Okay? I don't have that skill. Okay? I just don't have it. That's why. But also, I play to my. Y'all want to know the real reason? This is I shouldn't be telling y'all this. I should be telling my kids this. I'm so I really should. This is secret for my kids. I should be telling my kids this. I'm so freaking smart that if I don't show flaws, people hate me. Somebody can catch that on the way home. Anyway, next question. I should be telling my kids that. I shouldn't have told y'all that, but go ahead though.
All right. Does anyone else have any questions about how to? Oh, go ahead, boss.
No, I got a question to the chat.
All right. So, Mr. Law asked. Oh, he made a comment. He said, "When you become skinny, when you become skinny, it's the only way people see you."
That's actually facts, though, right? We were. Grace was watching a video in here. All right, I'm going to say this as gentle as possible because he tried to say it as gentle as possible. Patrick Bet David, he's watching. Someone asked listen, y'all. If you're overweight, and this has nothing to do with being insensitive, okay? You will be perceived as having no discipline. And if you are in a practice that discipline is important and you are overweight, you need to fix that. So if you're telling people how good God is, how good life is, how much you should be motivated, and you're not disciplined, then that's going to bite you in the butt. I'm not saying, this is Patrick Bet David Valuetainment. Find the link so I don't get stoned to death. Please find the link and just put it out there in the chat. It's one of those. Don't even find the link. Just know it's Patrick. Don't even find the link. Just know, because I don't want him to get thrown at him either. Just know that will be the perception of you. I'm not saying, I'm just telling you that the reason I decided to drop my weight is because I decided to transcend into something my hood has never seen. And I couldn't hold the weight and hold millionaires. Can't do both, Maya. I gotta drop the weight or drop my dreams. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, does anyone else have any questions? The floor is now open.
No questions, more of a comment. I think it's very powerful that you actually identify with that, because no one is going to follow someone that is not healthy. And the whole reason of my own self going into veganism is to build discipline. You have to have discipline for anything and everything that you do. You just can't go out and be all willy-nilly all the time. You have to follow some type of structure. And becoming a vegan or having a plan of being more healthier or getting to a point of where you want to be in life, it gives you have to have discipline in order to do all that. So
no doubt. I completely agree with that. And of course, you don't have to become vegan to do it, but me and Law, we like that. So don't worry about us. But anyway, that's a sensitive subject, and I don't mean to be offensive to anyone. And even I know when to change my tone. I got you, Mike. Even I know. But just here's what I will say that makes me feel great comfort. And I'm going to draw it from Romans chapter 14, if you don't mind. just because my brother has weight on him and eats all the sugar, maybe he's doing that for the Lord. He doesn't in honor. All right? Maybe. It's not my job to make him or her stumble. But if they feel convicted about that, it's not my job to let them keep the weight either. So if it violates your conscience, change it. If it doesn't, do you. Fair enough? All right, I want to get beat up. Go ahead, Maya.
Love yourself, Antonio. This is all I'm saying. I'm saying it is okay to be a big boy. Okay, a little cushion for the pushing. This is what we say. Okay,
I know that's right. I
get
know
it
that's right.
together.
I
But what
know
I
that's
wanted
right.
to say was, can you explain like more so as far as like everything is entertainment? I do get that. I do understand
Yep.
that. But at the
Yep.
same time, like when you're interviewing somebody and it's about a serious um thing, it's a little harder to kind of like make it more entertaining, I guess, for me. And so like especially with the people that I have in well I won't say no names.
Mhm.
But either way, like there's some people that you're trying to get them to
Right.
kind of open up, but you don't really get them to open up. So it's like more of a struggle, especially
Yeah,
when
I
it's
don't
like
interview
a
losers. I don't interview losers, if that helps you, for that very
okay, so
reason.
when you gonna interview me then? Cause I'm not a loser. Get it? Come on.
Set her, set her up for the Secret to Success podcast. Since she's bold enough to ask, you set her up. Nah, since you gonna ask, thou shalt be granted thy request. All right, come to the throne boldly.
Hey.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Keep going though, right? You trying to open them up.
Yeah, I try to get them to like, okay, all right, well, you felt that way and different things like that, but like, how are you going forth? Like, is there any positive light in this? Like, are you still stuck in that exact situation that you were in? You know, can I pull you out? Like, how do I help you out? And it's like when you have somebody that's just so
Yeah.
not willing, I guess.
Yeah. So there's two things going on here, and the second one is most important. Let's just deal with the first one first. It's quicker. The first one is to stop interviewing losers, y'all. Just because you want to know what your podcast or radio show is going to be about. You want to know if you have the charisma, the gift, the gab to hold the show down by yourself. If you can't, or if you don't know you can, and if you automatically went to having guests, then think about it. Can I hold this show down by myself? If you can, run that. If you can't, then pick guests properly. Okay? Pick guests properly. And the way you can do that is just have a questionnaire and you can weed some people out, or you can go to those questionnaires and ask them, what would you like me to talk about in this crap? Don't mean I will, but if you start getting boring, I default to talk about this boring crap that you want to talk about because apparently you're going to get excited about it. So that's the easiest to deal with there. The second thing that I think that you really ask, well, if you're not really asking it, it's coming, is this your story, because I don't know if y'all catching it, but she's getting people who wants to be serious. I'm just going to call them downers, but that's not fair to them. Serious. Nothing wrong with that. You got a serious show, or at least you have a serious episode on that show. You want to make sure that your interviewee doesn't take your audience so deep that the audience can't travel with them. Notice I said, I got molested in the trash can, but I got out that trash can. I hit that and quit it. I didn't say, you know what? I got molested in a trash can by two grown men. How dare that? That is awful. You know what? It's even more so awful because I remember going through, right now, somebody who has been molested can't recover from what I just said.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You never want to take people too deep to where they can't recover. So now that I know I just took someone, like I did it on purpose, so I want to show you how to get out of it. Now that I know I just took a few people backwards. All right, everybody. Let's all come together on the same page and not stay in what hurts us. Let's just address it outright. So what we're going to do as a unit is going to move forward back to Maya's question. Everybody okay? Now we're going to do it together. So we're going to do it on the count of 3. When I say 3, you're not going to think about it. You're just going to launch yourself forward with no issue whatsoever. Okay? I'm going to say it again. Don't think about it. We're just all going to move forward on 3 regardless. Don't qualify it. Don't quantify it. Don't make excuses. Let's all of us, male or female, move forward. 1, get ready. 2, 3, you're moving with me. Thank you very much for the effort that you have taken to move with me. I am seriously honoring you by the hope and the prayers, but also your strength to even move in the first place. So thank you very much for even entertaining me and moving with me. I love you, and we all been there. Do it? Now, I don't want to do that every episode, right? You get what I'm saying? But I do know that is appropriate. Now, that's not the only way, but the point is, if I'm going to trap you, at least I'm going to acknowledge that. So let's all get to this crap together. You get what I'm saying? I never hit that stuff where I can't take you with me. That seems, because you kind of brought it up earlier too, that seems to be more of your problem. That you have a guest that your audience or the host is getting stuck in their boredom or their story, and you're like, come on, stop ruining my podcast. So what you do is, if they aren't responsible for their energy, you become responsible for their energy. I learned that from Oprah. If they won't account for their energy, you account for it. You feel me? Okay, I'll let you respond back because it was your question. I'm trying to help you as much as I can.
No, and it makes a whole lot more sense. It's like, definitely qualifying them from here on out. And then at the same time, being able to kind of like flip it, to whereas, I can make it go more my way as opposed to allowing them to take me with them. So
no doubt.
Is that basically what I got from what you said?
No doubt. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 100. That's 100. All of y'all should be in that place. Listen, don't let someone force your brand into their bull. Don't do that. Your brand should not be forced into their bull, period, point blank. Don't do that. It's not worth it, and you got me messed up if you think I'm fit to let you ruin my legacy. It's not going to happen. I ain't tripping, but I ain't letting it happen. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. You got time for about 1 or 2 more, and I'll be respectful. That'll be time. Anyone
Thank you.
else? Oh, no. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. We love your presence. Go ahead, Jerome.
Yeah, this comment is actually for Maya.
All right. She's so pretty, ain't she?
In relationship to her interview, because what I was thinking was, and it coincides with what you were saying also, Antonio, in reference to you taking charge, or you taking control of that interview and not allowing that person to leave your audience where they're at. And I thought about you were saying earlier, Maya, about the woman being very negative and about, and so forth. And I thought to myself was, you could use a previous interview or previous podcast to say to the audience, as you're talking to your guests, hey, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because in our previous podcast, our previous interview that we had, we were talking about where God talks about, well, you got people like that who are negative, that we should provoke them to love and good works, that we should encourage them and without telling that person what to do, but talk about something that we previously talked about that keeps your audience online with what you want to do. And then that person can choose whether they want to receive that or not. So that just ran through my head. Without you telling them what to do or telling them that they're wrong, you can reference something that was previously said that your audience can relate to. And again, as Antonio said earlier, keeping your agenda, because that's your agenda, and you're keeping that going even with someone who's negative. So I just wanted to mention that in reference to what it
That's
touched.
good stuff. That's good stuff. Go ahead, Maya. You can respond.
No, you are so right. It's so funny because like I interviewed her son and he was great because he's a director, he's a producer, he's in the industry and everything. He's one of my best friends. But she not so much. So it's like I didn't want to just kind of like have that like, well, your son was a lot better doing this than you were. But understandably so. I thank you so much, Jerome.
I understand. Everybody ain't able. Let me tell you that. One more. Who's got the final question? Who is going to take us home with something that we don't have just yet? Don't have to, but I'll count down from 5. 5, 2, 1. All right. That's the way I count. Okay? That's the way I count. That's the way I count. Ladies and gentlemen, I've tried to do a whole encapsulating thing for you to make money during interviews. Here is what I will tell you that I did not mention that should be mentioned. You dare not go there without a product. Okay? 5 then 2. You dare not go to a radio interview without a product, even if you don't have one. You better sell a monthly coaching call on freeconferencing.com or something. You understand? But you cannot make money without a product. You just can't do it. So all of you, do yourself a favor and work with the company, work with Phil or Susan, get yourself a product. Okay? Please, please, please get yourself a product. Deanna, I will let you dismiss us. If anybody wants to replay to this before it's up. You uploading it tonight immediately? Oh, don't worry about it. So, but if you still want the replay, whatever link before that, just text Deanna or Grace. They'll email you the or text message you the replay link. Don't forget that Cameron hooked everybody up and got the little write-up thing on how to tell that story. And Cameron, because you're so freaking awesome, as he's still on, what I will also do is teach that as well and put it in the homework section. That way you will be hooked up and be able to look at it all the time. I will teach 3-minute story and 1-minute story because they are very relevant and you absolutely need them. You need the 1-minute story for radios. And okay, she says she wants it. Your story training was fast. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, thank you very much. I actually enjoyed that part of my career with the great Les Brown. Oh, you got this here. Real quick. Share your screen real quick. Is that mine? Did I teach that?
Oh, I did. Yeah, this is what you taught tonight.
Oh, that's what I taught tonight. Well, share it anyway just to be cool and then give it to them. Text message it to them. Text message it to them. She's sharing her screen real quick so she can show y'all. Cameron, I got you, brother. I would teach that just for you, and if I remember, I'll even give you a shout out, brother. How to structure your 3-minute story. Start off with a story. Take your story and pivot. I can't read out loud, but you see it's right there. So all of that is going to be there. So you have that, but I will break that down. So consider this a cheat sheet, but I would break all of that down in a video. I would literally break it down in great detail per step. You won't have no problems. I promise you. When I'm done, you'll be. I'll do the same thing I did in the Les Brown camp. If somebody has their mic. Oh, go ahead, Cameron. Go ahead, brother. You in the?
No, I just wanted to say I appreciate the time and getting me on there and getting me this information.
Yes, sir.
And giving me that opportunity there to begin to build, my speeches and
yes, sir.
opportunities.
Yes, sir. I sure appreciate you, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil and Susan, if they're available, they're very busy, but if they're available, I inadvertently gave an order that I did not make clear, and it canceled Have Fun, Make Money for yesterday, but it wasn't supposed to be canceled. So if they have time, this is an if because they're busy, we will make up a special training that they can have, and you'll be able to attend. At the very least, if you're not available to attend, worry not, because it'll go in their section, so they can keep that coming. But they'll let us know, and then we'll put out to you post haste. But I do want to rectify that mistake that my communication made yesterday. So, if you, my apology should be as loud as my secret mistake. All right? So we're going to do that right there. Deanna, dismiss us. Any final announcements?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye on your inboxes, your email inboxes for your date that you will be doing your keynote on Tuesdays, and also for the directions and the instructions on how to structure your 3-minute keynote. It is posted in the Bureau of Dominant Speakers group. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have any additional questions, please feel free to email us. You can text Grace or myself to get your 3-minute structure, your 3-minute story structured text directly to you. And if you would like this class, as Antonio said, sent to you as well, the recap, text us and we'll get that link to you as well. Other than that, everyone have an amazing evening. We're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time with Mr. Bastine East for You've Got 5 Minutes. Everyone have an amazing evening and good night. Love you more.
Love you more, Phil. Love you more, Phil. Love you, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. We do appreciate you. Thank you,
Love
everybody.
y'all. Thank you.
Love y'all.
Hey everybody, you may not know it, but you probably not subscribed to my videos. I appreciate you for even making me a community. Team ATS, we are here. There are 3 things that I am accomplishing and changing the world, or at least aiding to change the world. Here's thing number 1. Every single time that you watch one of these videos and every single time you subscribe, you help boost this community and help me give out a whole lot more information for free. Another thing that you're doing, and this is probably most important, you help me pay for salaries, okay? Team ATS, the minimum wage for Team ATS, the people who work here, is $22 an hour. That's pretty cool, right? Every time that you subscribe, buy something from me, or now I'm going to ask you to go to my Patreon page and give a donation. That could be $1 a month, $3 a month, $5 a month, or if you like me, $25,000 a month. I appreciate you who's going to do that. 100% of every donation that comes through goes to salaries or video production, which is the second thing. Look, this is 4K content, right? All this stuff costs money. So instead of me taking money from people, what I'm doing is I am literally creating salaries and using this money for production and more salaries. I don't use the money for me. I am literally helping people, bringing people out of poverty. I am so excited about group economics that I typically hire people with felonies or need a second chance, or someone, the daughter is 15 years old and they need insulin. I love those kind of people because they're hungry and they need an opportunity. So please go to Patreon, okay? Go over there right now. I'm not sure where my editing team is going to put it. It could be over here. Click one of these things. You understand? Go over there and do a donation. Now, that's if you can. If you can't, don't worry about it. Just set me to see first, put on the notifications, click that alert bell if you're on YouTube, however you find me, and you'll be helping that way. But if you have $1 to spare, $5 to spare, $10 to spare, I promise you, you'll be aiding people in salaries. Let's stay together. Now, if you're on the same vibration with me, if you're trying to raise the higher consciousness of this world, if you believe if you be faithful to the few, you'll become rulers over many. If you vibrate at that frequency, let's be faithful. Let's, give $1 or $2. Let's help somebody else so the universe can help us. I really appreciate you. Team ATS is in the building to stay. A third thing that I'm doing, because I promise you 3, So I've actually started my own Oprah Winfrey network, but ATS network. So expect to see a whole lot more content. Expect me to start paying content providers and content creators. Expect me to give people a platform where they can get paid for their videos. I really appreciate you. I'm so grateful for you. Let's make this community one of the most popular and one of the most paid communities so we can pay others. I give you my word. 100% of the money that's drawn from these videos goes to creating salaries or upgrading equipment. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can plant better. You can dominate. I have felt so much in life. I've been so evil. I've done everything in life to mess it up. And I have. I have completely messed this life up. And then I changed. And then I started applying things that I didn't know, but I always knew. You call it the law of attraction. Or maybe you don't. Or maybe you're religious and maybe you're not. Here is what I know. I know that we all have a karmic debt to pay off. And I have either paid mine off or almost off. And now I dedicate my entire life to you. Please know that as my life is dedicated to you, it means I get beat up a lot. But that's what this is about. It is about people like me putting their gains at risk for you. The crazy thing about life is once we get enough, whatever enough means, if you're a politician, it's enough votes. Someone likes money, enough money, whatever enough is. A pastor, enough members, we tend to protect it. This podcast is not about protection, it is about you. I sincerely believe in you. I know you're going to be it. I know you're going to do it. Whatever that is for you. There are no mistakes. I want you to share this podcast, but not for personal gain. I want you to share it because I am giving you my every being so you can turn around and do the same for others. I give away me, and then you give away you. I lower me so you can stand on my shoulders, and then you return the favor and you lower yourself so someone else will stand on your shoulders, and then voila. No one is lower than the other because we've all lowered ourselves. Finally, the music in this podcast that you're going to hear, I hope it gets stuck in your head. It's actually from my favorite movie, Cloud Atlas. It's a cover. It's not the original version, but it sounds just like it. Cloud Atlas is a great movie by the Wachowskis. My second favorite movie is The Matrix, but that has nothing to do with this right now. It is about repeating the same mistakes. And so I'm hoping subconsciously that as you repeat the same mistakes, Cloud Atlas is mostly about ascending from those mistakes. So I'm hoping the words, the music, the melody, everything helps you ascend to where you're supposed to be, which is where you've always agreed you wanted to be before you got here. I love you. This is the Secret to Success, Law of Attraction. I really, really know that this will be a blessing, a lifesaver to many people. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can't plan better.